Well, we have seen the strength continuing in case of the metal prices. Well, the Asian equities saw some gains. The US dollar continues to see a decline. We are looking at historical lows when you look at many of these metal inventories globally as well, and that has been supportive. Add to that the very strong economic data that we've seen come in from US and China, and that seems to be doing the trick as well. So you have nearly 1.5% of gains on your screens for copper, and good gains is what we've seen in steel, in aluminium, nickel, some of those commodities as well doing well. We are now joined by Peter McGuire of XM Australia. Peter, hi, good to have you. How would you look at metals as a sector? I mean, I remember last time we spoke and you said this sector still has some more steam on the higher side. At these current prices, with all these gains, what would you now expect for the next month?
Well, good afternoon, Manisha. It's been a fantastic time to be a producer over the last quarter. Will it last? I think it's probably got more upsides yet. Strong industrial demand, stimulus, governments prepared to spend trillions of dollars as far as building the world out of this COVID environment. So, yeah, I think that there's still relatively cheap prices compared to historicals, and I think there's even further softness for US dollar, which is going to underpin over the next month or two. So it's onward and upward for the metal market.
Peter, how much of more softness are you looking at the US dollar? Because that would really tell us on how much further gains from this one fundamental that we can expect.
Manisha, this April has been a wonderful time to be short US dollar, long everything else as far as currencies, and maybe we're going to see, a 90.2. It's 90.8 at the moment, that US dollar index. I think it surprised everyone just with the velocity that it's fallen over the last 3 weeks. Nothing short of amazing. And do we touch an 89 before, in this quarter? We're halfway through the quarter. Oh, pardon me, 3 weeks through the quarter. So by the end of the quarter, we're at an 89 handle. Are we going to touch those lows that we experienced, quite a few months ago? That is a possibility.
Peter, within metals, where do you see strength continuing? Because we are looking at an 11-year highs for copper, and it was 11 years ago that copper also saw an all-time highs. Are we headed there?
Well, we could well be, Manisha. I mean, have a look where we're coming from. I think that there's, again, that momentum will continue for the rest of the next matter of months. So are we going to take an all-time high out? Are we going to breach that? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. In dollar terms today, I think that there's capacity to do that, and that's the attraction with the market at the moment. Everyone's long, and I think that it will continue.
Any other metal that you're keeping an eye on as well, Peter? Because we've seen good gains in aluminium, even as the inventories that are just fine, but 3-year highs on that one. Steel continues to be around those all-time highs even now.
Well, yeah, I'm looking at aluminium, I look at lead, I look at a number of them, zinc also. But, yeah, aluminium's been a standout, Manisha. I also look at the price from an Australian viewpoint, of course, iron ore, what the demand picture is there, how the prices are. So it's a sector that you've got to really, sink your teeth into and have a look and see what the demand picture is looking like, where's supply, and, of course, the overall consensus with huge, stimulus. I still get to that. I think that there's just going to be a continuing boom for that, metal market for the rest of the decade. I can't see anything derailing it, really.
Peter, since we have you with us, what's also your sense on the crude prices? 2% down. I mean, the second wave of COVID cases in India has been pretty high. We also are looking at some more restrictions coming in from Japan. It is also the OPEC ministerial meeting today, the proper meeting on 28th of April. Ahead of that, all of that, do you see investors adjusting their positions?
Well, Manisha, I think it was overbought. There was just a little bit of profit taking over the last, say, 6 to 8 hours, maybe 10 hours in Asia trade. Will it continue to soften? You might see a little bit of a further washout, though, it's choppy at best. You get these big ramp-ups that it moves a couple of percent up and then all of a sudden it gives back those gains. So the traders are all over it. Yeah, I'm worried about that fourth wave as far as Japan from Corona and, of course, you guys over there in India. So they're the handbrakes. That's the demand destruction picture that I still think that, it'll hold these sort of levels unless you see something dramatic happen from either a geopolitical or, and I don't think that's going to happen in the short run, or, maybe further softness as far as US dollar could push it up a little bit further. But I don't think smart money's on oil at the moment, Manisha. There's money to be made on other markets beside oil.